Good morning, happy Saturday. Hello, everyone. All right. Sorry I'm a couple seconds late. I actually got into a conversation while I was walking to the office. So, super cool. It's a Saturday. Trying to think. So sometimes things are going so well, hey, that you don't have something pressing on your mind at the moment. In fact, it becomes very easy to become complacent when things are going well. But that's never going to be us, but it is an actual feeling. Like, for instance, I woke up this morning, I took a look at the pricing, everything is fine, it's moving up, volumes there, new additions, a lot of, yesterday was amazing, a lot of accounts, a lot of our members opted into the higher tier. In fact, two different members said, I want to be in the top tier, the $100, which is good. And we only offer the $100 tier, right? Like, so someone's in at 150, but we specially made that for them because they were in at 500, came down to 300. And if you want to be in one of those, if you want to be in a tier higher than 100, you have to come down to it. We're not allowing anyone to go up to it. So we want the top tier to be 100 so that no one ever has any type of larger presence than someone else. And I know that's being overly cautious, right? Like, Anthony, if one person has $500 a week and they're one of 10,000, I'm sure that doesn't, they're not 5 times bigger than everyone else. They're 5 times bigger than any one individual. Yeah. Let's see, who wrote this? Oh, Frida. Anthony, did not succeed to download the app to my computer. I sent a mail to, okay, cool. I just spoke to Via a little bit earlier, and Frida, I'll ask her to connect with you sometime today. I know she's doing stuff, and that's not to say your stuff is not important, but during the week, she's far more accessible, like she's immediately available. What I will tell you is if we don't have it resolved by Monday, I'll work with you personally, which is great. And anyone that doesn't know, Frida has been with RHINO since day one. In fact, we used to have a website, Distributive Marketing, during our evolution, and Frida's picture was on the front page. So Frida is someone we absolutely adore. In fact, I was on an hour Zoom with her yesterday, and she was like, all right, you don't want to talk to me anymore. I was like, I do, but it's now 10:56. I have an 11 o'clock. Love you, love you, love you. But she has a really fantastic connection to this health product that she was describing to me. Amazing. Okay, but anyway, let me not get off course. Hipsuasion too, yeah. Oh my God, what a journey we've traveled. But as I was saying before, there's a certain level of complacency that comes in. And the difficulty is when things are going well to always be hungry. Like, for instance, I don't know if anyone has seen Rocky. It was like my favorite movie growing up, maybe because I'm Italian, maybe because that was my era, maybe because I like boxing. There could be a whole bunch of different reasons, but Rocky was a great movie. So in Rocky 1, he was just this no-name Philadelphia brawler, and he got a shot to fight the champion. And he didn't know anything from anything, and he started practicing, and he had a really, really good match. He lost, but he stuck in the whole way because he had heart. When he got knocked down, he got back up. And then in Rocky 2, he learned how to fight and he won. And then in Rocky 3, you see that he's been living this life, this amazing life. He's like a 10-time defending champion, and he faces Mr. T. And Rocky's manager's like, no, you don't want to fight this guy. This guy's hungry. This guy is from where you used to be. He's basically you in Rocky 1. And Rocky's like, what? And I can't take him? And his trainer, Mick, is like, no, you've gotten complacent. You've gotten comfortable. This guy will knock you into tomorrow, Rock. And what happened was Rocky got his butt kicked. And then he got up and beat Mr. T at the end of Rocky 3. The point being, when you start having a level of success, it's easy to become complacent. In fact, in boxing, there's a sentence. You don't train as hard when you sleep in silk clothing. And now that's far from me, like I don't sleep in silk clothing. But when I was doing today's email this morning, I was like, what do I want to write? It's like, and I think about it the night before and I think about it the morning of, and I'm like, what do I want to write? And I was like, you know what, maybe I just want to take this week to kind of reach out and see if we could gin up a couple more account ads. And I want to do that in the most direct way possible. I want to go ahead and put one direct message, like one sentence, which I did, and I really want to lower it to one button at the bottom, which I did too. So the button to see what the sentence was about, and then the button to the open market, because everyone should always have access to the free market that is our coin, right? And I changed one of the things at the top, the notion of whether the coin is up or down overnight. And my wife looked at the email. She's like, Ant, this is kind of like, it's kind of very plain Jane. Like, you're not a plain Jane person. You're very thoughtful. Why is it so plain Jane? And I said to her, I go, well, I just want to be really direct. And she goes, well, that makes sense, but I kind of feel like if everything you ever did was a 10, this is like a 9.9. And I was like, you know what? I kind of think you're right. Like, I felt like we were having enough momentum and enough good feeling that for the moment, and even though I did wake up at 5 a.m. and I spent 2 hours on that email, 2 hours on one sentence, so it could be one of two things, right? Like, Ant, the email is not your best email, or Ant, you didn't work as hard on that email as you could have. Now, in life, to say that you'll never make a mistake is foolish. I'd rather be with someone that makes a mistake and is able to identify and solve it immediately than someone who pretends nothing they ever did was a mistake, because mistakes happen. We're human. Like, everyone's going to have a mistake. And the sense that, and the fact that we're building this together means that all of our mistakes will always be right in front of you. So the good thing is, Anthony, your email, if this is you identifying a mistake, well, you're really on it. Like, the email was sent an hour ago. What you're describing is so micro, and that's got you in a tizzy that you're spending 7 minutes talking about it. That's a really good thing. The bad thing is that it happened, but no, that goes back to part A. It's a good thing. And I only say that because the email that we sent 2 days ago, talking about all of the updates for Monday, with the Q&A on the RHINORetirement.com site, and having kind of like a messaging for everyone to use. For instance, if you wanted to write an email to someone from yourself, what would you write? And these are the things that our email today should have represented. For instance, if somebody read it, oh, hey, I like Rhino. These are the top 3 ways that I could participate in Rhino. Because it's not even so much about I want to participate because I get affiliate coin. Everyone sees that they own real coin. They see it's moving up in real time. So to go ahead and say that anyone needs to be further incentivized to act in their own interests is becoming less blurry. You own coin. It's in your wallet. You can sell it right now. You see the price you can sell it at right now. And you see that the price is completely determined and dependent by the growth of our platform. Therefore, if you want to sell at a higher price, you should be part of the growth of the platform. And that's not directed at anyone because everyone's been part of it. But we've now graduated past the need or the feel that we have to dangle a carrot in front of anybody, that everyone should be able to go ahead and do it by itself. I just do not get your dog's comparisons as it's still being traded and currently gaining in value once again. Oh, Doge. Doge is not past tense as you present. Speaking out loud about this, your decision. Doge is not past tense. In fact, it's up, I think, 40% overnight. But Doge got up to, I think, like 77 cents or something. It was an $88 billion market cap company. Right now, it's like $5 billion. The point being that when the community at large, through whatever reason, and it was kind of excitement and celebrity, all agreed that we're going to buy the same thing, you saw the value go from 0 to 88 billion. And that's a little bit distorted because the coin had like 400 quadrillion and it was making 50 million a day. If the coin only had 1 billion in a set supply, it probably would have reached $1 trillion. Now, the way they did it with Doge is everyone got so excited and there was kind of no agreement. It was what do we do, right? Like, like COVID in 2020. You could look back and say people made mistakes, but you're really being unfair because in the moment you didn't know what you were dealing with. So the decisions were never mistakes. If you made a decision from your heart and your brain, then by default and by definition it was not a mistake because you didn't know anything else. So you could always look back and say, well, you should have done this. But that's the hindsight of 2020. That's what looking back at history does for us. When we look back at Dogecoin, we can say, all right, it has proven something. It didn't fail, it crashed. Why did it crash? Well, because everyone threw their money all at once and no one had any money left. Because it was really difficult to get into. Because the celebrity took over it, right? Like it was kind of like a niche thing. Because it moved up so fast that everyone felt like, well, I don't want to be the sucker to get in here. Because any number of reasons, right? Like you could list them and we tried to list them. Well, if we're able to identify why it failed and we're able to clearly see that it succeeded, a 0 to 88 billion in a year is a success. But did it fail? No, it crashed. Why did it crash? Well, if we're able to identify those reasons and then fix them, well, we're able to relaunch a Doge 2.0 basically. We're able to take MySpace and create Facebook. We're able to take Facebook and create Instagram. We're able to take Instagram and create TikTok, right? Like you could keep evolving. To go ahead and say Dogecoin went from 0 to 88 billion and nothing's ever going to come of it, it's just going to die a hapless death, is silly. And I know you're saying it's not past tense, it still exists. Yeah, this is the stock chart. If you believe this is still existing, well, you're correct, but I think that misses why we chose as an example. And I do firmly believe that we are built to be better. And that's not because I'm biased, which I probably am, but it's because we took a look at that, we identified the reasons it worked and it didn't work, and we went ahead and solved and corrected the reasons it didn't work. That's my opinion, right? Yeah, it started as an inside joke. It was like, oh, can we make a coin of a meme, like a puppy? Yeah, so the reason why we identified Doge is because in this journey that is trying to explain Rhino, the only way you could do it in any fair sense is to go ahead and find analogies that people understand, right? People that when you say Dogecoin, they go, oh my God, that was that like joke coin that went from 0 to 88 billion. And naturally they make fun of it because they don't know that it was a success. They don't think of it as a success. They think of it something that went from 0, really high and really low. But 88 billion is larger than what? Like, I don't know, every company except the top 100? Like, Dogecoin was worth more than Merck, right? Like it was a made up coin, so that did have a success. So let me not harp on it, but what I would like to do is, it is very important that we continue growing the community, and we do every day, right? Like we're at the 316. We have our average average investment amount per the 316 over $20 again. Like this is, everything is going really well, but let's go further. So we're instituting some mass marketing touches this week. We did have a Twitter one, but I haven't heard from that person. The Instagram and Facebook one, I did hear from that person. The TikTok one, which is going to be our main one, I will speak to that person today. The cold calling, I spoke to that person yesterday, but not about that, but I will speak to them about that. The email marketing, I do want to go ahead and present everyone with copy and paste this and send it to whomever. Which, by the way, our emails do have a forward at the bottom. So at any point, you could forward our entire email to someone. That might be a little bit easier. What I do know is every one of us has a social media. Every one of us has an email list. Every one of us can, like if we made guys, if we all made a goal, like, hey, this week, let's each one of us do this, 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 and this. In fact, maybe I'll make a Google spreadsheet, and each one of us could go ahead and list the things that we've done, right? Like, okay, so I make a Google spreadsheet and I share it with everyone. And Anthony is on the left column, and then it says Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, email marketing, phone calls, whatever. And let's say as my week goes on, I check off each box. And let's say by checking off each box, Rhino will send me 100 coin. Now we do know the difference between the tiers, right? You have the coin that goes directly to your wallet that you could sell immediately, and you have the coin that goes to your investor tier, which is going to be distributed to you as time goes forward, as the market matures. So if we went ahead and offered, say, 50 Rhino that are going to go directly to your wallet for every box you check, I kind of think that's like the ultimate super duper duper. Everyone's a part of it because everyone can see what everyone's doing and we're all on the same sheet together. That's an idea. I really actually like that idea. In fact, I'm going to do that idea. And anyone would say, well, Anthony, yeah, Robert, I love that. Anyone would say, well, Anthony, someone could just check all the boxes. Yeah, they could. That's not Rhino, though. It just isn't. In fact, we've sent people extra coin by accident, and they've reached out to us and told us we sent them extra coin and sent it back. If Rhino has one bad apple that goes ahead and checks a bunch of boxes, I'm saying out loud to that person, I think you could be a good person, but I think you're very short-sighted. And if that's what you want to do, we're here for you and I'll support you. But that's not the right thing to do. Otherwise, I think everyone will just check boxes as they go. And the goal is we're at 316. Could you imagine if we got to 1,000 by the end of next week? If we got to, you know what? This is what I'm doing. Tomorrow's email, I'm going to create the spreadsheet and I'm going to go ahead and not educate, not analyze, but if we hit this number, this is what will happen, right? So if it's in our collective effort or collective ability to do it, and we see what would happen if we did do it, then why don't we do it, right? So I don't know, let's do it, right? Like, why not? That'd be amazing. Guys, the coin's up every day. It's at like 156 now. It got up to 158 before, I think. I don't know. No, 168. I think that's where we are. Do you remember December of last year when it was a penny? Do you remember 3 weeks ago when it was $1? How about this? In 2 months from now, it'll be over 100. Oh, so to that point, it's not actually going to be over 100, right? Like I'll probably keep it to 2.5, because we're not going to make the same mistakes as Doge where it just goes flying. But we will go ahead and share with everyone, if we did not have all of the coin that we're selling to depress it, it would be 100. And then everyone's going to say, oh my God, so what do we got to do to get rid of all that coin? So we'll have a step 2, step 3, step 4. We could really do this. Like, we have a coin. It's up every day. It's up over 50% in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's up 156,000% in a year. And it's only just begun. So I love everyone. I know I'm 8 minutes over. What about a countdown timer showing how much of the billion? Yeah. So it's funny because I do have that in terms of the financials, which everyone has access to. But it does require you to go there and then deduct, blah, blah, blah. So to your point, I think that's a great idea. I've thought of that idea and anyone would have had the ability to do it. But to your point, it should be in the email. I'm just trying to unclutter the top. But to your point, I think that would be like, hey, there's only this much left. Yeah, no, Michelle, thank you. So anyway, I know I'm 9 minutes over, but I actually really just want to kind of kick it with you. It's a Saturday, let's enjoy life, and I won't see you tomorrow. But I will have that email. I will work extra hard to make up for it today as I continually beat myself up over nothing. Well, not nothing, that kind of like defeats the whole point of what I said before. I could always be better, and I think we could all be better. So I love everyone. I will see you via email tomorrow. Go check out the coin. It's doing great. If you want to sell some, go for it. I don't think you should, but to each their own. Bye, everyone. And have the most amazing weekend, seriously.